Come on in. Come on. Come. Where's my hold on. No clapping in this court. No clapping in this court. Welcome to the Kempire Town Hall. It's been a while. You know we only do this when necessary. A lot of you have been asking me. First of all, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Someone said, is this going to be a town hall? I said, oh, why not? Why not? Last minute town hall. You guys got me out of my chambers for this? Look. Okay. Look. Okay. You got me out of my chambers for this nonsense? Oh, it was worth it. It was worth it. Stop it. Stop it. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. You all have been, we were just live earlier today talking about Tuesday Takeover, where we cover a variety of reality TV news, and pop culture news. So a lot of you said, Kempire, are you going to talk about the NeNe Leakes interview? I didn't have time until now. So after Tuesday Takeover, I listened to the interview. I listened to certain parts over and over again. I took some notes. So if you're new to our channel, if you're new to our platforms, so first of all, we're live on Facebook, we're live on Twitch, Twitter, and of course, we're live here on YouTube. Our town hall is where you really talk about your thoughts. And I give you a timetable. I give you a minute to share your thoughts on the most pressing topic. And the topic at hand today, this evening, this afternoon, this morning, depending on where you're watching from, is NeNe Leakes' exclusive interview with Carlos King. So Carlos King, as you know, is a reality TV producer turned podcaster turned YouTuber and works my nerves every once in a while. It's okay, Carlos. Come on. Come on. All right, look. I know a lot of you think I hate Carlos King. I don't. Certain things annoy me sometimes, but it's not that deep. It's not that deep. I don't hate him, okay? And I have to say, he did do a good job with this interview because he asked a lot of the questions that a lot of you wanted answers. All right? A lot of you wanted answers to these questions. And no matter how you feel about NeNe Leakes, and we all have feelings. We all have feelings about NeNe Leakes, and we all have thoughts about her lawsuit, her discrimination lawsuit. Was it dismissed? Did she receive a settlement? I'm guessing in part 2, she'll talk about that. That's how it ended. But I don't think anyone denies the entertainment that NeNe Leakes brought in the past. And every once in a while, when you sit down with her and you have a conversation, she's entertaining to watch. She's entertaining to watch. And even in this interview, you could tell, and maybe this is why the interview was good, was because there is history, there is a friendship between Carlos King and NeNe Leakes. There's a lot of history. He was there at the beginning. So there was a lot that was discussed, from Phaedra to Cynthia Bailey. Will the real Cynthia Bailey please stand up? There was conversation about Kenya. Does NeNe think Kenya is the star of the show? When did things shift for NeNe when it comes to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? She talks about that, and we got a couple of clips that we're going to talk about and examine as Exhibit A, B, and C, and D. Not D. How you doing? So first off, I love the fact that they kept in the casual conversation that was happening between NeNe and Carlos, because no one knows a lot about Carlos. No one knows a lot about his personal life, but apparently Carlos has an African. How you doing? Before anyone else had it. Before Porsha had her African, Carlos has his African, and they've been together for 18, almost 20 years. And in gay years, that is raise the one, carry the two, 200 years. Okay? So we get to know a little bit more about, sidebar, why did she ask, did he have a side piece? Is that something? Shade, shade, shade. Anyways, hold on. Well, we did learn. Hold on. Let me save the super chat. Hold on. We did learn, hold on, that Carlos wants to have a kid in the future. Very much like Andy Cohen. You just do everything that Andy does. I'm playing. I wanted to say it because, we can. We're kidding. We're kidding. A lot of people want to have kids. Please understand, if you see me at 50 years old saying that I want a kid, please tell me and remind me of this moment. No, you don't. You want to be laid out in Capri or laid out in Zanzibar or laid out somewhere kid free. I'll be a fantastic uncle, godfather, non-parent. See, Alex even agrees with me. Alex said, yeah, that was an odd question. I was like, what does she know? And why would she ask that question? Like, I don't feel like my friends would ever say something like that to me. Anyways, so this is our town hall in regards to this interview. In regards to this interview between NeNe Leakes and Carlos King. So there have been a lot of things that have happened since NeNe Leakes left the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, NeNe never taking ownership. NeNe's bitter. Oh, look at these two bitter Bettys. They are never over. They're never over Bravo. They want to go back to Bravo. All of that can be true. And all of that can be true along with this being an interesting and worthy of us going live and talking about conversation. Just saying. Jazzy says, I got 3 kids, Kempire. If you ever need a reminder that you don't want kids, just let me know. I know plenty of people with children that remind me every day. So I'm glad, though, that we're doing this live at 5:30. I know sometimes this is too late for our folks that are watching across the world, but it's also a great time for some of you on the East Coast and some of you that are on the West Coast because it's lunchtime or it's dinner time or it's after work. But replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section. And as always, I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to present you all the facts. I will leave my opinions to the side for now. I'll throw my opinion in there because a lot of you want to know what I think. And then you will have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts as well. As always, don't forget to like the video because it's an easy, free way of supporting my channel. Be sure to be a subscriber. It is a subscribers only live chat. We had a vote earlier during Tuesday Takeover. All of you said subscribers only live chat, but I made sure that you have to be a subscriber since, oh, hey, Sheree. And I know her adorable son that I met in London. Mason loves you, Kempire, and I love him. Adorable. And he behaved himself. We had a whole meet and greet, and Mason was entertaining himself. Anyways, sidebar. Order in the court. Shereen, order in the court. Numsad's watching from London, UK crew. Yes! Shout out to my UK crew. I know everyone's mad. Okay, our first meet and greet was in London. We will do a meet and greet. BravoCon, maybe? See you there. Okay. So, focus. Focus. Let's go present ourselves through the facts. So as I said to you before at the top of this, we get a little casual conversation. We get a little casual conversation between NeNe and Carlos in regards to, what's going on in their lives. They're just having a good kiki, a good laugh. Okay, you don't care about any of that. All right, let's focus on the facts. All right, where do we begin? She talks about Sheree, her relationship with Sheree. Sheree and NeNe have had a love-hate relationship. I don't know about love-hate. Mostly hate. I don't want to say hate because I don't think that they hate each other. But they just never really saw eye to eye. But according to NeNe, before they started filming this show, they actually were really good, not really good friends, but friends. And they would hang out. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But we already know that Sheree, years later, come to find out, Sheree is loyal to no one. And I do believe that her being on the show messed her up. Look, messed her up. And she sees how, NeNe talks about how the producers in the network just use Sheree. That's why she comes and goes. She's willing to come back because, oh, yes, I'll come back. Maybe. Look, maybe. So she talks about Sheree. She talks about a lot of people. And I'm sure part 2, which will air next week, August 1st. You're welcome, Carlos. Part 2. I kind of wish part 2 would come out earlier. Because what's today? Today's Tuesday. We got to wait a whole week. Can it come out Friday? I don't want to wait till next week. Should we do another town hall next week? You will let me know. I guess so. Because that's probably where the juiciest parts will be next week. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm maybe just say thank you because, apparently we get money here being in a town hall. Thank you. Thank you, Connected, for the super chat. Connected says, wait, does this take away from the mystery of Housewives? Not at all. Thank you, NeNe, for appreciating an audience intelligence. Okay. Thank you, Connected, for the super chat. Dr. Payne, thank you so much for the super chat. Dr. Payne says, meet and greet in Miami, please. I know I should do one. Look, okay, I got to figure these details out. All right. Can order in the court. And thank you for the super chat. All right. So she talks about her relationship with Sheree, or lack thereof. And Carlos brings up what Sheree brought up on the podcast about NeNe not being on the list and that it was intentional. And NeNe says she knew that all along. But it was that night, Carlos says, that he felt like that was what sparked when he knew that this show was going to be a success. Well, let's talk about pay. So as you know, DeJuan called earlier during our Tuesday takeover and brought up how much NeNe was paid during her first season, because that is something that she talks about in this conversation with Carlos King. So she reveals that she was paid $10,000 for her first season. If you listen to Jill Zarin and Bethany's conversation, I believe Bethany said that she was paid like $7,000 or something. I forgot how much she said, but it was definitely less than $10,000 for their first season. All right. So according to NeNe, she was paid $10,000 for the first season, and then she said probably she received like $5,000 for season 1 reunion. She said that she made $50,000 in season 2, and in season 3, her, Sheree, and Kim, who those 3 were always a part of this show from the beginning, even when they filmed the pilot. Deshaun and Lisa were not originally a part of the pilot that they filmed, and they were shopping into networks. All right? Someone said the entire season? Yes. A lot of these Bravo celebrities do not make not Bravo celebrities. Bravo celebrities do better than a lot of reality TV stars. But like 90 Day Fiance, I heard one straight, they get paid for like 20,000, maybe. And then when you think about, we were talking earlier about, the writer strike and residuals and things like that. These companies are making millions off of these people, and they make one time thousands of dollars. And those shows are still played. Like NeNe. NeNe's a perfect example of this. Her episodes are still watched and played, and she makes nothing from those episodes. She makes nothing from those episodes. And she made $10,000 for season 1 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But she gets paid nothing in regards to the residuals. It's something to think about. It's something to think about. Then she says in season 3, her, Sheree, Kim, they did a favorite nations, which is a term I recently heard Bethany use in regards to the housewives coming together and being a united front. And in season 3, they were all paid $100,000. I wonder how much was Candy paid that season? Because remember, Candy came in season 2. How much was she paid? She said they made like somewhere in 100,000, maybe 150,000 that in season 3. Okay. Pink Orchid says Carlos King's interview with NeNe was really interesting, funny, and informative. I truly enjoyed it. Yeah, it was definitely an interesting conversation. And I know some of the information we've heard NeNe talk about before. However, I do feel like every time she talks more and more about Bravo, I feel like more comes out. Here's the thing. I don't think NeNe's the greatest business person, but I think she has great ideas. And as you know, people have said or speculated that she gave the idea for Watch What Happens Live. Like, she's had a lot of really great ideas. I think she's great with ideas, and she was literally at the top of this interview giving Carlos ideas for what he should be doing with his podcast. Okay. So I feel like she has great ideas. I think her execution may not be the greatest. She also talked about in this interview that she's not broke. Look, she says that she's not broke because that's been in the blogs too. That she might be having money issues. You know, remember people were saying she was selling things off and things like that. She says, no, she's fine. I mean, the way that she moved, first of all, can we talk about how NeNe looks? Look, we've seen NeNe go through a metamorphosis over the years, okay? But I have to say, this is probably the best I've seen NeNe look in years. Right? Doesn't she look good? Hair, makeup, body, yada, yada. I think she looks great. All right? I've digressed. I shouldn't be talking about body, yada, yada in court. Sorry. I got to even correct myself. But this is my court. Damn it. So she talks about how much they were paid in their first, second, and third season. And of course, after that, they were making real money. So of course, conversations about her relationship with Cynthia Bailey comes up in this interview. And one of the things that I found to be interesting, and both Carlos and NeNe confirmed this, that Cynthia isn't a pushover. Carlos even said at one point, you know, like people thought that Peter Thomas, you know, ruled her. And she's like, no, Peter Thomas slept at bar one a couple of times and things like that. So Cynthia is not as sweet and innocent as she portrays to be. But NeNe has said this before. She said this before. But later in the interview, she talks about Cynthia in regards to Cynthia possibly having an alliance with someone else, other housewives, producers, and stopping her bag. We will get to that clip in a second. But I know you all wanted an update because, you know, we just did a couple of stories talking about her son Bryson being arrested and then using her son Brent's name. So NeNe opens up about his addiction and that he has addiction. Sidebar, she says, you remember John? You get the white man? Remember John? John, didn't he own pizzas and stuff? Well, apparently John called her up when he heard about Bryson getting arrested and having addiction issues. So John's willing to take Bryson once he gets out of jail, send him to a place here in New York City, and he said he'll pay for it. Okay, John. All right. So she said she just spoke to John recently. Sidebar, she also talked about NeNe, you know, her now ex-boyfriend she's taking a break from. She talks about that. She talks about how, yes, he was married when they first got together, but they were in the middle of getting a divorce. That's what she says. She also says that she recently saw Big Papa and his wife, Kimberly, not Kim Zolciak, Kimberly, his wife, Big Papa's wife, the one that he was supposedly divorcing, but has not divorced since then. It's been years. And apparently they're still together. Sidebar. NeNe also talked about NeNe and her relationship with NeNe. Look, she was throwing daggers. She was throwing daggers at NeNe. She was grateful for her relationship with NeNe because it was, although it did not overlap with Greg, she met him, she says, after Greg died, like a month after Greg died. And she said he was a great distraction. But she also says, and if you look at NeNe's pictures, yeah, NeNe looks like he is a clout chaser. And she didn't use that term, but basically she described him as being a clout chaser. And Carlos and NeNe agreed that there can only be one star in the relationship. Shireen says that she loved the part where NeNe said hello to Big Papa. Hi, Lee and Kimberly. So there was a lot. I had to take a lot of notes. And I don't know if I'll remember everything. However, I just wanted to give you guys an overview and synopsis of what transpired in part one of Carlos King's exclusive interview with NeNe Leakes, formerly of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So she does talk about, as I said before, about her son Bryson and his addiction. So let's just take a quick look at what she said there.
Bryson was recently in the news.
Yes.
Shout out to our friends at Bravo
with
Shade.
alleged things of fentanyl, alleging that he got caught by the cops and said his name was Brent Leakes. How is Bryson doing?
I spoke to him on the phone. I think he's doing okay. He needs rehabilitation. He needs a lot of counseling. Like many families out there, I have family members that are struggling with drugs and certain addictions. And he has an addiction. He's been struggling with it for years. He's been in rehab for a couple times, and he still have come back out and relapsed. As a mom, just to watch it is, my hands are tied. You know, he is 31 years old. He's an adult. He has 3 children, 3 beautiful children who I adore. He has a wife. It's not much that I can do. For people who have had children or family members that have been on drugs, they know that they have to be ready. They have to simply be ready. You know, I've spent so much money on trying to get Bryson, you know, where he needs to be, but every time I've sent him off, it's because I said, you are getting your ass up and we are sending you off. But I learned through counseling myself that he has to say, I'm ready to go, not me making him go. So until Bryson is ready to make a change, it's nothing I can do. As a mother, I would never wash my hands of my child, right? But I'm kind of numb to it, because it's been happening for so many years. I'm just really kind of numb to the situation.
Obviously, your children were brought up on reality television, being famous because their mom is famous.
Yes.
Do you think Bryson being famous and dealing with being on television, all those things, affected his ability to be the adult you wanted him to be? Did it contribute to the drug usage and those things?
You know, I would have to say I don't think it helped, but I wouldn't say this the sole cause of it. It certainly didn't help, because we started on television when Bryson was like in the 11th or 12th grade, and Brent was in 3rd grade. And so they're having to be in a light shine on them that they did not ask for. People are picking them apart because of the job that I chose to do. And so I feel for them in that way. But there's just issues that he has, and I don't know addiction because I don't have an addiction. You know, I just know from what people have said to me. But Lamar Odom also called me and said that he would grab Bryce right away and send him to his place. He has a rehabilitation place somewhere.
Okay. Shout out to our friends over at the Bravo Shade Room, because you know what we do here. We always cite our sources, even in our town hall. Order in the court. Order in the court. All right. So she talks about Bryson and those issues. So he clearly has addiction issues. I didn't realize he had 3 kids at this point. And I think a lot of people did feel for NeNe, and they didn't expect NeNe at this point to be coddling Bryson. Hopefully, whatever happens next for Bryson, if he goes where John is suggesting, or if he goes where Lamar is suggesting, hopefully he gets the help that he needs. And it really would be nice to see him sort of change his life finally, because addiction is real. Goldie, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate you supporting our town hall. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ashley, thank you for this super chat. Ashley says that NeNe is the reason we get reunions too. Good point. She called Andy and told him that they needed a reunion to confront Kim, first Housewives franchise to do one. Thank you. I forgot about that. Look, you know I can't remember everything, so I appreciate you all doing that, and you put it in the super chat, so thank you for that. We appreciate you guys. And we have almost 2,000 people here for our town hall on NeNe Leakes' recent new interview, part 1 of her conversation with Carlos King. If you're part of the replay crew, as always, be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. You will have an opportunity. First members will get the opportunity first to call in and share their thoughts. Here at our town hall, you have a time limit of 1 minute. 1 minute to share your thoughts, all right? And general audience, you will get an opportunity to call in as well, but we got to get those likes up. We got to get those likes up. All right, let's move on. Let's move on, because there's so much more that I want to cover, and I want to make sure I give you guys an ample amount of time to call in and share your thoughts as well. All right? All right, so we have that. She talks about that. As I said to you before, she talks a little bit about Cynthia in the beginning of this conversation. Then she talks about having her family on the show, which we just saw her briefly talk about with Bryson. She says one of the regrets that she has is reprimanding her son on the show. She says that's one of her regrets. And one of her other regrets was how open she was about her divorce from Greg and that whole situation. Okay. As I said to you before, she also addresses dating Naomi and that relationship and how, first of all, she says she started dating him. He was married, but he was divorcing. As you already know, we've talked about this, but I think it's important to remind you, just in case you didn't know, Naomi is now divorced, but now they're broken up. They dated for a while, though. What, like 2 years they dated? That's not bad. But it seems as if Naomi really liked the limelight. It looked like he really liked the limelight. Oh, goodness. You guys are so brand new. Like, Miss B, are you new to the channel? Because it's showing. It's showing. Because there will be people in here like, oh, you hate NeNe. Yeah, y'all can never can y'all just forget about teams and be Team You? Order in the court. Just be Team You. You're not representing NeNe here. You're not representing anyone else. You are representing yourself when you call in, Miss B. It's okay if you have a difference of opinion. Share your difference of opinion. There's no need to like, oh, this must be NeNe's fan club. No, how about you say, I didn't like this about what NeNe said. Or do that instead of calling out people's teams. And if you only knew, look, I didn't expect to see that comment, Team NeNe here. Really? No, because NeNe's not innocent. And we've said it multiple times. We said it multiple times. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. She says she's not new. It's okay. Or be Team Kempire. I'm fine with that too. Just saying. All right. Moving on. I want to focus because there's a lot and I want to give you guys more opportunities to share your thoughts. All right. Moving on. So she addresses the Naomi situation. I was really shocked that she threw Naomi under the bus. I was like, whoa. So, but you could tell if you look at pictures of Naomi, her ex-boyfriend, you can kind of tell he likes the limelight. And maybe he liked being with her because now people know who he is. Now people know his brand. He's in fashion, right? Does he do stuff? All right. Look. So she talks about that. All right. So she talks about, because Carlos asks her, when did things sort of like change? When did the dynamic on the Real Housewives of Atlanta change? And this isn't the first time, and she's not the only person to say this, that she feels like it was, season 5 that Kenya and Porsha came on the show? And she feels that's when things changed. And she said when people were bringing on fake boyfriends and things like, okay, let me just play the clip.
You think Kenya changed the direction of the show?
I think, I hate to say she was the one that actually changed it, but to me, that's when things started to change, right about there.
In a negative way.
Yeah, I felt like people started to create storylines and pretend to have boyfriends, and all of those things, to me, my opinion, does not make for a good reality show. I think reality shows are exactly what it says, reality, what is really happening. And I think everybody started to change then. Now, prior to her, I think, I may get some of my seasons mixed up. Prior to her, I think Phaedra and Cynthia were on prior to Kenya.
Phaedra and Cynthia came on season 3.
Started to not want to show like, I think she showed her pregnancy because she was pregnant the whole time, but she wasn't sure about how far along she was and all of those kind of things.
Because there's chicks in the hood who don't know who they're pregnant by and know how far along they are.
Exactly. You see, you better do that. So those things to me start to make the show not be what it is.
I never thought about it that way.
That's how I feel about it. I feel like, when we first started, all the things we were doing were just for real. They were just for real. What were happening in our lives was really happening in our lives. Whenever Kenya came on, was 4 or 5. That's when I think it changed.
Why?
I don't know. I think all these things started. So for instance, when me and Lisa and Deshaun and Sheree, all of us started, they were our real husbands and our real boyfriends. Sheree was really married to Bob, and they really were going through a divorce. Deshaun was really married to Eric, and they started to have their issues. Lisa was really with what's his name?
Ed Hartwell.
Ed Hartwell. I was really with Greg. Kim was really with Big Papa. Our stories were real. Everything we talked about and did was real. When we had disagreements, they were real. We didn't pretend like we had a boyfriend and we didn't have one. I mean, and then I think once Kenya came on the show, I'm not saying that Kenya started it or did it, but I'm saying at that moment it started to be let's create our storyline. Well, we didn't create a storyline. We just showed up to work and just was filming and being who we are. They started having boyfriends and they weren't really their boyfriends, and that kind of stuff to me changed the dynamic of the show. To me, if you didn't have a boyfriend, you just didn't have a boyfriend, and that's how it should have been shot. I believe now, looking back, as far as reality is concerned, like, shoot, it is what it is. Like, don't try to create things like, we want to see your dating life. Well, I don't have a freaking date. So then shoot that. I don't have a date. Opposed to putting pressure on me to go out and find some random dude that I'm really not dating, I'm really not into, just to please production. Why don't you guys film me looking for a date or talking on the phone to some guy I've just been talking to for a couple of weeks, rather than making me pretend I'm out on a date with somebody? I thought things started to change right about then. She has a lot to say, and she stands up for herself.
We'll get back to that. So, here's the thing, and I know NeNe was real. Honestly, I have to give NeNe credit in this moment. I feel like she was really in this moment, not trying to throw Kenya under the bus, because later in this conversation, she says that Kenya is important for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, not just in the past, but presently. That could also be because Kenya recently said that she would bring NeNe back as well. So it could be some of that. But I said this recently. I think that I said this during our recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta's latest episode. I feel as if Kenya is only as great as, and that's with the entire cast, with a good adversary. And I think the cast that we have right now, she doesn't have a good adversary. So it's falling flat. And I feel the same with NeNe. No matter how many people want to say, NeNe was the show, she is the show, without NeNe, the show is nothing. No. It was everyone. It was everyone, depending on the season. It was the chemistry amongst the cast. All right. So she says it was that season. I think she really is alluding that it was producers, because at the end of the day, producers are the ones who decide what they're going to focus on and what they want, the story that they want to tell. So I think in that moment, she's not blaming Kenya. They decided to focus on that. They just started to create this whole storyline situation. We were just talking about that this week as well, about production. We're like, it's production's fault that the season's not clicking as much for people. So I do feel like she was trying in that moment not to throw Kenya under the bus. I think she really was trying to throw production under the bus. All right. Again, guys, I'm just going to remind the chat, because I already know my King's Guards have a very difficult time with the differing opinions and how you guys share those opinions in chat. Please be respectful of each other's opinions. I was just thinking to myself, especially after this last recap, I was like, I'm so tired of talking about these Real Housewives, especially these recaps, because the audience, I feel like, makes it not fun to recap or talk about. And please trust and understand, I can and will pivot if necessary. Just saying. All right. Moving along. So she talks about that particular element, but she does later talk about that she feels she never was threatened by any of the other housewives. She definitely was not threatened by Kenya. She never looked at Kenya as the star of the show. All right. But she does think that Kenya is a important part of Atlanta. Still. So I thought that was interesting. Porsha. She also talks about Porsha. And I thought it was interesting because she just was pictured with Porsha in Miami. Well, she was still with Naomi then. And I thought it was interesting. She sort of shaded Porsha in a way, because she was saying, people forget Because at one point in season 5, they were going to cut Porsha. Carlos confirmed Porsha was on the chopping block. Porsha was on the chopping blocks in season 5. But it was NeNe and Kandi that reached out to production and executives at Bravo and said, do not fire her. She needs this job. And she's about to go through a divorce. And then Porsha came out and did her thing in season 6? And ever since then, you guys still ask for Porsha Williams to come back. Porsha Williams Gabadia? What is she going by now? So I thought that was interesting. It then leads into a conversation of, Carlos brings up that, at one point, I think it was season 6, it was like their best season ever. And they had like 5 million viewers. 5 million viewers, which is like unheard of today. And now this is where, of course, NeNe takes a shot at the current show. She's like, now they got like 500,000. Come on. Order in the court. Now they have like 500,000. I mean, I think that's across all reality television. Just saying. There's certain shows that still get that sort of viewership, but you know what I mean? Oh, Kaladi, for those that want to know why I am in a judge's robe, today is our town hall in regards to the NeNe Leakes and Carlos King interview conversation that they had. It's a 2-parter. Part 1 came out today, and part 2 will be out next week. So I'm guessing we'll probably have to do that again. Do this again? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Look, we'll see. All right. So I am going to drop the call-in link for members first. So shout out to our members. If you would like to become a member of the channel, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. All right. What else? Okay. Let me go by my notes. All right. Sidebar. At the top of this interview, NeNe said this.
Let me just say Drew. I've met Drew. I mean, I haven't watched season 15.
Have you watched 14 or 13 or 12?
No, I don't watch. I've never watched since I left, but I have honestly watched the clips that have come down social media. Okay. But me turning my TV on and tuning in is something I just cannot do. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're all sitting in my house, the house that I built. And it is seems like it's tumbling down. Ooh!
I mean, look, again, no matter how you feel about NeNe Leakes, you can't take away her legacy. You can't take away what she's brought in regards to this show, this franchise, or the reality TV space. And no matter if you don't like what she had to say, I was just like, well, look, I've even said this before. I've said countless times, if I know there's a lawsuit, there's mediation, whatever. If NeNe Leakes was to return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, it would have record numbers, just because people would want to see how in the hell would that happen, and what would she be like amongst this cast. Just saying. All right. So Cynthia. So this was probably the most interesting part from part 1 that stood out to me, because NeNe has been saying this for a very long time about Cynthia. Cynthia is not who people think Cynthia is. This is what she has said. I met Cynthia at BravoCon. I mean, we didn't have in-depth conversation, but I liked her energy. She was nice. But according to NeNe, Cynthia is not who we think she is. She even says that she believes, well, not she believes, she says she has information that Cynthia had alliances with housewives and production and try to stop her bag. No matter how Cynthia has said on camera that NeNe tried to stop her bag, she says, no, actually, it was Cynthia. Really? Not Cynthia.
She has a lot to say, and she stands up for herself.
Why do you think she didn't want to show that in front of the camera? That's who she is.
There's a lot of these girls that come on the show and they don't show who they are. Remember, I made a conscious decision season 1 to just be who I am, right? And some of these girls come on and they just, I don't know, they play with their head. They're like, I don't want to be seen that way, or my family would die if I was seen that way, or my husband doesn't want me to do this, or my boyfriend said I can't do that. And so they just create some character. And I just think that Cynthia never wanted people to really see her be, as she liked to say, 50 cents. Okay.
Do you miss Cynthia?
I miss the friendship that we had, because I feel like we had a really good friendship, and I cherish my friendships. And I feel like, it's hard to find really good friends. And it's unfortunate what happened to our friendship.
But why can't you guys rekindle the friendship?
I don't think that will ever be possible.
Why?
Because I just know some of the things that she has done behind the scenes that I just could never, ever, ever respect. Now I can't respect them, but that doesn't mean I couldn't work with her. I could work with her, but I can't respect some of the stuff that I know for certain that she did.
Did she try to stop your bag?
As much as she was on camera saying I'm trying to stop hers, she was definitely trying to stop mine.
From Bravo?
Of course, from Bravo. I know a lot of things she did, honey. She was in an alliance too, honey.
With producers or housewives?
She was in an alliance with housewives and behind the scene with producers and network.
To get you off the show?
I believe she tried. I think she had a hand in trying to get it done. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Absolutely.
What do you believe? If you are a senior royal of the membership, the channel membership on YouTube, then I've already dropped the call-in link for you. Royal Court members, I've dropped the call-in link for you on the community tab here on YouTube. For those that are trying to find the link, it's on the community tab for members only. Team Kempire members, I'm dropping the call-in link next for you. Next for you, okay? Again, no derogatory comments, no profanity. Please note, if you do not follow the rules when you call in, you will be banned indefinitely. And some people that have been banned, no. So cite that source, okay? All right, let me say thank you before we get to some callers. Again, if you are a member of the channel, I've dropped the call link on the community tab. General audience, we have, oh, damn. We have 2,200 people in the building. Can we get to 1,000 likes? I will drop the call and link for the general audience once we get to 1,000 likes. If we do not get there, that's fine. All right? Should I put in a poll? Do you guys believe NeNe in regards to Cynthia? I should. Hold on. Let me do it. Let me do that, and then we will get to the callers. Let me just do a quick little poll in the live chat, because I want to know if you guys believe NeNe about Cynthia. Do you believe NeNe? Okay. Yes, no, maybe. Okay. All right. All right. I posted that in our YouTube chat. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to our King's Guards. Again, guys, do not forget to say thank you and hello to our King's Guards. They have such a tough job with our large community and very opinionated community, which we appreciate. But always share your opinion in a positive, professional way if you can. If not, you will be muted. All right. All right. There will be a timer. Callers, please keep that in mind. Please respect the timer. Please respect the timer. It's dinner time. All right. All right. All right. Let me just say thank you before we get to the callers. Let me say thank you. Jesse, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you supporting the channel. Shout out to all of you. Don't forget, you can support the channel just by liking, just by sharing, telling a friend to tell a friend about what we do here on the channel. Our town hall, that's why I'm in a robe. Our town hall is something that we do anytime there's a pressing hot topic or hot topics. We go live, and it's really more about me presenting you the information and, of course, you sharing your thoughts on that information. All right. So thank you, Jesse, for the super chat. Soraya, thank you so much for the super chat. Soraya says, hi, Kempire. I'm just curious. Why don't you bring up a panel? Why would I? It's called the Kempire channel. Okay. But no, I mean, no, I didn't feel a need. But thank you. Soraya Bella, thank you so much for the super chat. Bella says, hey, Kempire, I had to send my offering for the chaos on the earlier live. Love all you guys. I really like how they bonded over the classic NeNe sayings. Yes. Thank you, Bella. Thank you for the super chat. All right. Chris, thank you so much for the super chat. Chris says, NeNe is a major talent with a horrible attitude. Everyone else is wrong and she is innocent. She's Atlanta's version of OC's Vicky. Insufferable hypocrite. Oof. All right. Hold on. Okay. Let me do this. Oh, Jesse, thank you for another super chat. Jesse says, NeNe will always be the gold standard. We needed this candor in her last few seasons. I'm glad she's in a space to share now. She did mention that Carlos has asked her to be on the podcast before, but she just didn't feel like it was the right time. Thank you, Kempire, for all that you do. Thank you so much, Jesse. We appreciate you. Okay. Terry, thank you so much for the super chat. Terry says it was Carlos King saying cheers, B word. And she replied, to the girls' weekend for me. A mess. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you supporting the channel. You guys are funny in the chat. All right, let me get to the callers. Live chat, though. Once we get to general audience, once we get to 1,000 likes, we will drop the call-in link for you. But we have already quite a few members backstage that are ready to share their thoughts. Again, you will have 1 minute on the clock before... Welcome to the Kempire Town Hall, and we're talking about NeNe Leakes' recent exclusive interview with Carlos King. All right, let me just save this. Wait, I gotta read this comment first. Bunny. Bunny Chic, thank you so much for the super chat. Bunny says, this is the house that Kempire built. He doesn't need a panel, surely. Order in the court, Bunny. Order in the court. I'm just saying, like, I mean, some people need one. I don't. Just saying. Anyway, we get callers. They're part of our conversation. All right, let's go. All right, enough of this. Alex is backstage. Of course, Alex is. What's going on, Alex? Alex, you're muted.
If you're not first, you're last. That's my saying. All right.
Go ahead.
NeNe, I absolutely loved NeNe in this interview. She wasn't as full of herself as she was these last couple seasons she was on the show. She seemed more light, more fun. I loved her giving Kenya props because Kenya, she was honest with it. She wasn't saying, oh, I didn't like Kenya just because she doesn't like Kenya, or Kenya's not good for the show just because she doesn't like Kenya. She was saying she's good for the show because she is good for the show. She was telling the truth. Now, anybody who has crossed the paths with a Pisces or is a Pisces know that we can pretend to be all sweet and innocent, but we're not at all. I'm going to be candid. We're not. We're not sweet and we're not innocent. We can be mean. So I absolutely believe, NeNe, that Cynthia did those things because we always had that 50 Cent inside of us. We're not all sweet. We're not all innocent. Not at all. Not one bit. And I yield back my time.
Oh, thank you. You guys are a mess. I love it. All right. Oh, damn. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next caller. Ashley's backstage. We're going to bring her up next. What's going on, Ashley?
Hi, I'm good. Okay, I have to say I'm a card-carrying member of the NeNe fan club, and I was scrambling once I saw that this interview was coming. And I can't say that NeNe is my girl, but I would definitely say when she is wrong. And I feel like how Candy is about Mama Joyce. You could tweet, you could post. I don't care. That is mother to me. The interview was so good. She seems so light. She seems like old NeNe, but she still has a shade. And I also saw that little treat that Sheree had, and at the end of the day, we all know it is an ensemble cast, but that ensemble cast had a breakout star, and that breakout star is NeNe. And even Andy has said it. And he said himself that the rhoa is the house that NeNe built. And we can refer back to the tweet from 2018. To let it be known. And also, like the last caller said, yeah, Pisces can be mean. I am a Pisces. We are so sweet, but if you cross us, it will be a problem. We can forgive you, but we coming back tenfold. So thank you.
Wow.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye, Ashley. And I always say the callers will always remind me of what I prepared. So you're right. Andy said it himself. Andy said to himself back in 2018. Shout out to our friends over at OMFG Reality TV. Be sure to follow them on Twitter and on Threads. All right. So, yeah. So, NeNe had posted this back in October 23rd of 2018. RHOA is my baby. I started this franchise, shot the pilot, and waited for it to be shopped. There's never been a season where Bravo TV, Andy, didn't ask me back. I honestly needed a mental break. Then you know what happened after this. All right, so Andy retweeted this. This is when times were good. And say, RHOA is the house that NeNe built. I mean, you can't take away from it. He's look. I wonder if he would say that today. Oh, damn, I saw this tweet. Unapologetic me says, houses get sold, though. Houses get sold, though. All right. Let me move on. All right, guys. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. This is our town hall. Wait a second. We got over 2,100, almost 2,200 people in the building, and we can't get to 1,000 likes. I'm going to end this live if we don't get there. Sorry. V, thank you so much for the super chat. V says, I really enjoyed the interview. Cleared up a few things, in my opinion. And there's still a part 2 coming. Thank you, V. Lauren, thank you so much for the super chat. Lauren says, as a Pisces, I stand with the first caller. We are sweet as pie until you piss us off. I don't know. I'm trying to think about the Pisces that I know. I don't feel like they get that ugly, though. But okay, but you're right. Unless someone, makes you upset. All right, let me move on. Tina's backstage. We're going to bring up Tina next. What's going on, Tina? Tina, you're muted. Tina? Are you there, Tina?
Good evening, Your Honor.
What's going on?
Sorry, I had to get my brief ready.
Oh. Enough of that.
I love the frankness that NeNe talked of in their interview. It was refreshing. I'm glad she kind of let her guard down. They didn't have that kind of, and I hate to use this word, but the kind of pissy attitude she has sometimes when they interview her. And I think she was just being honest and frank about the whole thing. She did look gorgeous, and I love the fact that she said, because we did drag her the first couple of seasons with her hair, her looks, and she stepped up her game. And you don't need a panel because your callers are your jurist.
Oh.
And have a nice day.
You too.
Oh, and your meet and greet, since you're in Tennessee all the time, come to Tennessee and I'll make you your biscuits. Man, come on.
I know. I need to get. You're in Chattanooga. How far is that from Nashville?
Just 2 hours.
Just 2 hours. Well, you going to drive to Nashville to come see me?
I sure would.
Oh, okay. All right.
Biscuits in hand with some sorghum syrup.
All right. All right. Thank you, Tina. Take care.
Bye.
Shout out to our Nashville people that watch. Nashville people that watch. If you're part of the replay crew, please let me know if you're in Nashville. I need to know if there's a presence, because we can't do a show there if people aren't going to show up. Look. That would be embarrassing. Anyways, back to this. All right, we're going to bring up Judgy Justice next. What's going on, Judgy Justice?
Nothing much, just making the kids dinner. All right, so I was watching it and NeNe's thing, and honestly, we should think of NeNe as a cautionary tale. Like, you have to protect your own ideas, your own proprietary ideas. You have to go through legal. You have to, because even now, years later, even if it's the house that she built, it's the land she farmed, whatever it is, she will never reap those benefits. And the powers that be, because she may not have been very difficult. We will never know the truth. Besides that one time when she pulled that guy's shirt off, he didn't look too bad without his shirt off, but she pulled his shirt off. That's the only instance that we really know on camera of her doing something that was really outlandish. And because of this, and because of the way she's still going about it, she'll never be saved. So I really hope that people actually take this as the time to really, if you have an idea, you have a pilot, you have a book, you have something, you go get that at your intellectual property attorney. You go ahead, you make sure agreements are in place before they even view anything, because now this like multi-million-dollar franchise that has expanded into other franchises and other ideas for them, reunions, after all that.
All
You
right, your
can't
time is up,
cancel
Judgy
anything.
Justice.
Sorry,
No,
bye.
it's okay, but you brought up a very good point. She brought up a very good point. She's right about that. Theo said, hey, Theo. All right. Okay. Right now, we're taking callers from our members. So if you're a member of the channel or you want to become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com/join. We have multiple tiers. We have all kinds of perks that pop up. I just give perks. Okay. But if you are a member of the channel, head on over to community tab and you will see a link so you can call in before anyone else. Once we get to 1,000 likes, I will drop the call and link for the general audience. We have over 2,000 people watching. All right. All right. Let me bring up Dewan next. Hold on. What's going on, Dewan?
Hey, what's up, Kempire?
Hey.
Our girl was trending all day. I felt this was vindication for NeNe. You know, I've come up here often as a hard NeNe fan, staunch. And I thought this was vindication. She was, peaked at number 6. She's still trending right now. And people are giving her flowers. I'm so happy about that. I thought she was 100% right when she was saying that producers have manipulated the show and created these storylines. We were literally just saying that on another live of yours and how it does seem inauthentic. And so she was spot on there. She was 100% right with the Cynthia thing. I believe it 100%. And if you go watch Carlos's interview with Cynthia, which just popped up and I clicked on quickly, in the first couple of minutes, she talks about her 50 Cent persona. And he talks about how she would often cuss him out offline and stuff like that. So Cynthia is no saint. And, so I love NeNe. I don't think I think she did everything right, understanding the circumstances that she laid out. This was so new. They had no idea what they were getting into. It was all fresh. I'm sorry. I'm wrapping up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dewan. You brought up a good point that I want to talk about. And that point is that, yes, we can't forget, and I've said this before on other videos, you can't forget, NeNe is still a hot topic. She still brings people in. No matter if you like her, hate her, love her, she talks and people listen. So there's still influence there. What she does with that influence is really going to be up to her. I think she needs to really figure that out, though, because she should be making a bag off of the still need for her. Does this reunion with Carlos King mean that maybe in the future they will work on something together? It might not be reality TV. It could be maybe produce her own talk show. Remember, she wanted a talk show? Apparently, Kelvin Hunter, Wendy Williams' ex-husband, stopped that bag. But I already told you how I felt. NeNe, don't do that. Maybe to start with a podcast. Start with a podcast. Just saying. Meg says, NeNe interview was better than this entire season of RHOA. How do you guys feel about it? Do you agree? Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat in regards to our poll. So I asked you in the poll, do you believe NeNe leaks about Cynthia Bailey trying to take her bag? And 47% of you so far have voted yes, you do believe NeNe. That's why I love doing the polls, because you just never know. You never know. All right. This is true. Gracie's quilting and crafting corner says that NeNe trends every week during RHOA. And when I'm posting I'm covering a NeNe story and I hashtag NeNe, her name still comes up, even if NeNe's not on the show. That's why I'm always in my mind like, damn, she's still trending and she's not even on a show right now? All right. We still have quite a few members backstage. Once we get to 1,000 likes, we will drop the call-in link for the general audience, so you guys will have 1 minute to share your thoughts. All right. And thank you to Danielle. Danielle's been a long-time member of the channel. Danielle and I are going to be collaborating on her DMV. She's I guess she's also raising money, but she's gathering female, what is this thing? Like, you guys remind me. You know, the things like for the menstrual stuff. We're going to be doing that again this year. We did it, I think it was last year. We're gonna set all kinds of records so we can help homeless women in the DMV area. So stay tuned for that. But thank you, Danielle, for gifting those in the chat 5 memberships. She's done this quite a few times. So thank you, Danielle. All right. Moving along. Miss Esquire's backstage. Let me bring up an attorney. Miss Esquire, what's going on?
May I please report, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yes, so I actually want to come on here and say something I never thought I would say, which is NeNe was right about Kenya. And here's the thing, because I'm not a big NeNe fan, I'm also not a big Kenya fan. You know this. But what NeNe is right about is when they brought in Kenya, they brought in someone who did not have a natural relationship to this cast, to this city at all. Like she was a famous person being brought into a reality television show, which was very different from them. And I realized I was going to say, but Candy was already there. Here's the thing, Candy's fame, I don't think really outweighed the fact that she is Atlanta. She is Atlanta through and through, from Atlanta. Kenya was quite literally living in LA and only moved to Atlanta into that horrible extended stay. She had no connections to the city. And I think NeNe's right. Like she performed, like that whole twirl moment was not for it was not for her friends she was sitting there talking to. It was for us. And I do think it did change the trajectory of the show. So that's it. Thank you, Your Honor, for hearing my arguments. I await your ruling.
There will not be a ruling. This is a town hall. You know better than that, Esquire. But thank you for calling in. Bye. You know, we got our folks that always call in and support. And we always enjoy their commentary. So shout out to all of you that have been here since like the beginning or for the last year or so. We appreciate you guys. All right. Let me continue. We're almost at 1,000 likes. We're almost at 1,000 likes. Your Honor needs to use the little boys' room in a second. All this water today. I'm trying to stay hydrated. Okay, enough of that. All right, we're going to bring up Wendy next. What's going on, Wendy?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, I'm in my car. But one thing, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, so I would definitely drive 2.5 hours to see you, even though it takes 3 hours to get from Memphis to Nashville. Just let you know how fast I drive. But I totally believe NeNe, number one. And then I like that she said that when they first started the first season, everybody was a housewife except for Kim. And it was authentic. And it was no fake relationship. And I really dug into this interview. And like the caller before, Esquire, I like this better than the current season. So I'm enjoying it. So you enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank
Bye.
you. Take care, Wendy. All right. Let me restart the clock. All right. We got Carla backstage. We're going to bring Carla up next. What's going on, Carla?
Hi, Kempire. I hope you're having an amazing week and being very productive.
Thank you.
Sorry, my voice is a little raspy. Basically, all I wanted to say is that NeNe felt like super lighter on the interview. And like other members were saying, she's really not using her potential, like her likeness that she has with the audience to the fullest. And if I want to believe that Cynthia is as innocent as she presents herself to be, maybe she was manipulative. That's why I put maybe on the poll, because I'm not too sure. But NeNe said that she tried, not that she was successful about it. And hey, you never know. Well, that's all I had to say. You go use the bathroom. Thank you.
Thanks, Carla. Bye. You guys are amazing. First of all, I just want to point out, and I haven't seen everyone's comments. I've seen quite a few people that are in the Tennessee area that are saying that they would come to Nashville to see a live show from me. Nashville, let's get this together. Let's get it booked. All right, enough of the clapping. Come on. You are in our town hall. Stop. All right. All right, let me just say thank you. We did have quite a few super chats that I wanted to say thank you for. And again, guys, thank you to all of you that sent in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps, PayPal. But you can also support just by liking, just by sharing, just by telling a friend to tell a friend about all the different types of shows that happen here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Again, you can watch high quality footage of us on Twitch and Twitter, on Twitch specifically. Okay. Norma, thank you so much for the super chat. Norma says, not calling in, but we got to give Leo's a happy birthday shout out. Order in the court. Yes, NeNe looks great. It is Leo season. You know, I have a Leo moon, so I do relate to my Leos. So happy Leo season to anyone that's celebrating. Norma, when is your birthday? I don't know. I always forget. Look, I always forget. I'm sure you'll remind me. Judgy Justice, thank you so much for the super chat. And Judgy says, also, NeNe isn't slick. Her saying that Bryson has an addiction is to help him get into a rehab, not a jail cell. She's establishing a history. Your perspectives, Judge Justice. I'm like, oh, well, that's good. Because he clearly does have some sort of addiction. And addicts don't need jail. They need help. Okay. And then I know what you all are saying. You know who needs jail? Carly. Okay, moving on. Focus. All right. Black and Gifted, thank you for the super chat. Black and Gifted says, Kemp, what is your dream cast, and do you think season 6 was the best? Oh my gosh, my dream cast? That's a really good question, and I'm going to give it to you. My dream cast: NeNe, Porsha, look. NeNe, Porsha, Kenya. Look. And a bunch of newbies. A bunch of people that we don't know that are really Atlanta's elite. That's it. And no, that doesn't mean I hate the other people that are still on there. Well, some of them. No, I don't hate anybody. But I just feel like it needs that sort of shakeup. And to be honest with you, let's be real. My dream cast wouldn't include any of them. It would be rebooting the show. And I know I said I was on the fence about that, and I think it's partly because I don't believe that Bravo is brave enough to do it until they see the success over at Real Housewives of New York, which they are recently seeing the success of the Real Housewives of New York. 1.7 million across all platforms this last episode. So don't be surprised if you see a reboot in Atlanta. I really would love, but I think they had a difficult, according to sources and according to our friends over at lovebscott.com, they struggled for season 14 to get this cast together. That's why Marlo got her canned peach. And this is not about Marlo. Thank you, Black and Gifted. Yeah, so my dream cast really wouldn't include, I know I would love to see NeNe and Porsha and all them interact, but that could be a legacy show. That could be an ultimate girls trip. I want to see them revamp or just be done with the show. These shows go on for too long. Just saying. Some of our favorite sitcoms don't go on this long. Daniel, thank you so much for the super chat. Daniel says, Kenya should have been on Beverly Hills. She could have been the first Black woman on that show. Okay. Thank you, Daniel, for the super chat. All right. Janelle, thank you so much for becoming a member. We have Regina backstage. We're going to bring up Regina next. What's going on, Regina?
Hey, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you have thick skin. Please keep that so these people don't drive you nuts with their, your team this, you team that. Who cares? We don't know these people, really. It's okay. Anyway, what I was going to say is, I agree they need to reboot the whole show, but I think get rid of the production because this production is messing everything up. One of the things I agreed with NeNe on was the authenticity. I've been watching Housewives since the beginning, and I watched OC when it first started. Authenticity. That's what people are looking for. I mean, as a viewer, that's what I'm looking for, something that's real. And you can tell the fake. Don't fake it with me. I'm not trying to see all that all the time. I want to see what's really going on with you. So that would be what I would say. I pray for her son that he gets better and they can get him some help. But other than that, that's it. Have a good day.
Thank you, Regina. Take care. Shout out to our community. You guys are the best. I said this earlier during our Tuesday takeover that I'm gonna really make sure I just focus on all the good, positive things that end up in our live chats and in our comment section. So shout out to all of you. We appreciate you, and shout out to all of our members. Don't rush me. So we're gonna take these next members' calls, and then I gotta take a potty. I need to go to the little boys' room, the little judges' room. All right, we're gonna bring up Sharon next. What's going on, Sharon? What are your thoughts on this Carlos King and NeNe Leakes interview?
I thought it was really good, and I don't understand how come he's waiting till August to do the second part. I want to see it tomorrow.
I know. I agree.
Yeah, I thought NeNe was calm. She's over everything. And, she explained everything in a in a calm way. And I thought she did a really good job. And I, I, I understand what NeNe is talking about when she was talking about Kenya. What Bravo did wrong was they hired these real actresses to be on Housewives. I don't want to see that. I want to see somebody just like me that has a little bit more money than me that goes out to lunch and goes on vacations. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Kenya, Candy. I don't want to see Lisa Rinna. I don't want to see them. I want to see somebody just like me with a little bit more money than me so I can aspire to be them.
Mm.
That's all I had, Kempire.
Thank you, Sharon. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right. General audience, did I drop the call-in link? Because I find it shocking that it's only a few of you backstage. All right. It's okay. It's all right. So maybe I can get through these callers and then I can just end the live and then I can go to use the restroom. Okay. Daniel, thank you so much for another super chat. Daniel says, if Candy helped Porsha keep her job, then that makes Porsha what Porsha did to her in season 9 worse. Well, I mean, I thought about it. But it's interesting because even NeNe in that moment bringing that up, she sort of shaded Porsha's loyalty. I thought that was interesting. And people don't remember. Look, people don't remember. Thank you, Daniel, for the super chat. We appreciate you guys. You can also support the channel by liking the video. All right. So keep liking the video if you haven't already. We appreciate all of you taking time out of your Tuesday evening to be here with us. If you're part of the replay crew or later on crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts on this NeNe Leakes interview with Carlos King, part 1. And as always, we've cited our sources. So the link to the interview is available in the description of this video. All right. So let's get to these last couple of callers, and then I'm getting out of here. Janelle's backstage. We're going to bring her up. What's going on, Janelle?
Bonjour, Kempire. Ew, ew, ew. How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm good. Also, I want to let everyone know, I've always been a member, but homegirl, I had to fix my credit card, but I'm back.
I know you've always been a member.
Listen, when your credit card expires, you better check on when stuff happens. That's all I gotta say. But anyway, hi.
Hey.
Okay, I listened to the episode. It made me miss NeNe so much on the show. Like truly, like I was like, sometimes social media doesn't do someone's justice on when it comes like how funny they are, how candid they can be. Like she's coming out with quips, and she's just having a conversation. Like she's not even trying to say these witty one-liners. Like it just comes out of her like blood. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just part of her. So it made me really miss her. And like also congratulations to Carlos. You're gonna get a lot of people downloading your podcast. So you're welcome in advance from NeNe's camp. Okay. But you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember what happened season 6. I had to go on Wikipedia and remind myself.
What
I was
happened?
like, wait, 5 million viewers. Hold up. Did I miss something season 6? I know I watched it. I was there. But I was like, but there was the pillow fight.
Oh yes,
where NeNe slams the door in Kenya's face, like bye, like so. Yeah, I really enjoyed the conversation, and my last thing is maybe we should just get rid of Real Housewives altogether and just start anew on Bravo. Oh, I said it. Okay, I got to go eat some dinner and go use the bathroom. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Chanel. I mean, look, as I said before, and they do talk about that slumber party during this interview as well. They do talk about that and why NeNe reacted the way that she did towards Kenya. And one of the things that she says, these ladies are perpetually really late. So she was very annoyed with Kenya being late. All right. I gotta go rewatch season 5 and season 6 because I haven't really done a rewatch of Atlanta like I've done some of the other cities. So I need to do that. All right. Kari's backstage. We're going to bring Kari up next. What's going on, Kari? What are your thoughts on this NeNe Leakes and Carlos King interview?
So I'm gonna try to be fast with my words because I actually have something to say about Carlos and not much about NeNe. NeNe, you did build the house, but the other women helped lay the foundations that sustained it. Your early years definitely constructed the house that is Roha. However, it was not just you that made sure Roha turned into an entity. The wig shift, Who Gonna Check Me Boo, Gone with the Wind, Fabulous, the Underground Railroad being real, and even Kim's wigs. You had other builders standing beside you and builders that came behind you that helped stack some of those bricks. So even though the interview was cute, I just really wish you gave the other women that started with you the credit that they deserved. Carlos, I've never seen a king so worried about another person's palace while theirs is on fire. Shay Bravo, all you like, but they did something you still struggling to do over there on the Oppressed Women's Network. All these interviews, and I have yet to hear you say one thing on behalf of the women you've hired to be embarrassed on your clone shows. Every show is repeat, reuse, recycle with the same.
Keep going.
Look. And you focus on a platform 2 decades into running. As entertaining as the interview was, it was the wrong person having it. What I want you to talk about is melody. What I want you to talk about is how you gonna cancel Love and Hip Hop. I'm sorry, Love and Marriage Detroit, because it's a trash show. I want you to stop getting money off of Bravo because you don't work for them anymore. Thank you.
Thanks, Kari. I did not pay Kari, y'all. I did not pay Kari for that. All right. We have a couple last minute callers we're gonna take. All right. If you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just our channel, but other channels as well that are talking about this interview. All right. And just a reminder, damn, I forgot to put up my disclaimer. Damn it. Well, let me put up the disclaimer now. I mean, the disclaimer is in the description. The opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or Google and Apple. Why Apple? My iPhone. All right, Danny, we're going to bring you up next. What's going on, Danny?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
I'm going to be brief. I love NeNe, and NeNe just reminded me of the Soldier Boy of reality TV. Like, everybody how Soldier Boy came out and was like, I did this, I started that. You're like, dang, he really did do that. NeNe is the Soldier Boy of real reality TV. I love that she was like the pioneer for Black women in this space. I think that is really dope how Carlos navigated this interview because he is her friend, but he did ask hard questions. So I'm gonna give him his due on that. Sure. But I definitely agree with the caller before me. By the way, are you a writer? You need to be a writer. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I thought that was really well worded, like how she called Carlos out because he do got a lot to worry about over at his camp. But anyway, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Danny. Take care. Bye. See, this is why I love our community. We can see both sides of the situation. We all twerk on the fence. I say we twerk on the fence, but y'all be twerking on the fence too. Just saying. Anyways, all right, we're going to bring up Shola next. Hold on. What's going on, Shola?
Hey, Kempire. Hi.
How are you? Where are you calling from?
London.
What time is it in London right now?
It is nearly midnight.
Oh my God.
But you're worth it. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
There's
okay.
concealer to hide the bags, so don't worry. So I'll keep it quick. I was happy. I find it really hard to watch Carlos because he does often make conversations lead back to him. I was just waiting for it. I saw it was an hour and a half and I was like, oh, I bet an hour is going to be just him telling us about his life story, but he didn't. He did it a little bit, but not as much as I expected. And I've not been a big fan of NeNe since the last couple of seasons, actually, since she kind of felt like she was above the cast. But I really, really loved this interview. And this is the NeNe that I would love to see come back to the show. And if this is the NeNe that I think the audiences that kind of detached away from her, and if there was a chance that she could come back to the show, I think it would be a huge success because I enjoyed it. It showed a completely different side. I cannot wait for next week. And I'm really proud of the energy that she brought onto this. Maybe if she came 6 months earlier, like she said, Carlos has been asking her to come in the past, it wouldn't have worked. But I think she's grown and she's matured and she's answered everything honestly. And I think it's because Carlos provided a safe space for her. So I was impressed.
Thank you, Shola, for calling in. Now go to sleep.
Yes. Good night.
Take care. Good night. Okay. All right. I mean, there's plenty in this interview that we didn't discuss. And one of the things that stood out in my mind when Shola was talking was about, who is really like the queen, like the Black queen of reality TV. And NeNe says it's her. And then Carlos brought up Tammy Roman. Honestly, I would probably lean more towards NeNe. There's also, of course, New York Tiffany Pollard. But again, I still would probably lean more towards NeNe. So that's a conversation. So I want to ask that question next. Hold on. Let me tell we're going to do one last poll before we go. As I'm doing this poll, like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Shout out to all of you that send in super chats, cash apps, Venmo, PayPal. All of that information is available in the description on how you can support the channel. But as always, telling people about the channel, telling the people about our podcast, Kempire Radio, that helps support everything that we do as well. That shows advertisers they want to advertise with us or sponsor us and things like that as well. All right, so let me do this poll. So I just want to give you the results of the last poll with over 1,000 votes, almost 1,100 votes. You all say, 47% of you say that you believe NeNe about Cynthia Bailey taking her bag. I'm ending the poll. All right, I want to ask you, who is the real HBIC? HBIC, yes. All right. Who is the real HBIC of reality TV? Okay, your options are NeNe Leakes, Tiffany New York Pollard, and Tammy Roman. Anyone else? I'm just gonna leave those three. I don't want to make it too difficult for you guys. All right, so we'll see what you guys say. I just posted it on our YouTube poll. Shout out to everyone watching on TheKempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter. Be sure to follow us on those platforms. And for everything Kempire, including our merch, head on over to TheKempire.com for more details on that. All right, we have someone backstage, so I'm going to bring them up. Again, you guys only have 1 minute. 1 minute, all right? So let me bring up Miss Fancy Pants. Wait, we got a couple people backstage. All right, hold on. All right. I'm going to take these last couple of calls, but then I'm leaving. All right, then I'm leaving. All right. Let me say thank you. Judgy Justice, thank you for the super chat. She says, people don't remember but Kempire's elephant brain. All right. Thank you, Judgy Justice. Crispy, thank you so much for the super chat. Crispy says, the show is failing because it's no longer raw. The housewives are too concerned about how they appear, and people crave authenticity in this world of phoniness. So true. So true. Samara, thank you so much for the super chat. Samara says NeNe or Jocelyn Hernandez. Really? I wouldn't even hold Jocelyn in this conversation. I mean, okay. I mean, I'm not going to take away from Jocelyn either, but all right. Miss So Fancy Davis, I'm going to bring you up next. What's going on, Miss So Fancy?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Finally get to talk to you. I watch you from the pandemic. And so Let me jump right into it. I'm not a big Carlos fan. Sometimes I can watch him, sometimes I can't. But I was so impressed and so pleased with this interview with NeNe and Carlos. He hit the right questions. I felt she was very honest, transparent, except for when it got to the part about her ego. I did feel like she may have kind of tried to downplay that, and she may have got some PR work on that part. But other than that, towards the last season, the one season that I will say where I fell off, I've been a big fan from the very, very, very beginning, even OC. I will say it was the last season when Porsha was pregnant. That reunion, NeNe was not the NeNe I fell in love with. She was on that couch, just a ball of negativity, and they was in all black. And that was the season Porsha. If y'all go back and watch that, y'all will see how she was treating Porsha, because you know Porsha was sober because she was pregnant. She wasn't on that Henny like she always talk about. But I will say I was so pleased, and I'm still a fan. I can't wait till they bring her back. I just need Andy to get his stuff together.
Okay.
And they need to have her sit down.
All right.
But love you. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you so much. Oh, I mean, that would be a ratings bonanza too. A sit down between Andy Cohen and NeNe. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here because I already know there are going to be some of you like, you guys forget she sued the network. She called them racist. She did this. She did that. Did she lie? Oh. All right. All right. Jessica's going to be our last caller. But I do want to say thank you to Norma for another super chat. Norma's birthday is August 2nd. It's next week. Norma, happy early birthday. Such a Leo. I'll gift members. Oh, you're sweet. Thank you so much, Norma. We appreciate your support. Norma's been around here a long time too, supporting us. Carmine, thank you so much for the super chat. Carmine says Tiffany walked so NeNe could run. I still love me some Tiffany. I really do. Celebrity Big Brother, bring her, please. She was so great on the UK version. All right. Oh, you're right. Ronella says, stop giving them ideas. We're striking. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jessica, we're going to bring you up next. What's going on, Jessica?
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah, I can hear you well. And so I just want to say that the interview was really good, and it really showed that NeNe has been doing the work in a sense of like, I could tell that she had some type of PR done because the way that she was answering the questions was really eloquently, especially how she handled the situation with Bryson. And so I think that she had like the right amount of accolades for everyone. She even gave Kenya accolades, but then she also was able to throw shade, which is what she does. And so I think that a lot of times, like when we saw like different snippets of the interview, we saw people who were pretty much like, you know, against the shade that she threw for certain people. But people have to remember that she is the original housewife. And so that's what this show was built on, is like being able to read and being able to have fun shade. Everything was pretty much fun shade. And I do agree with her in a sense where it's just like when it came to the whole Cynthia situation, that Cynthia did have sort of like a plot to get her off the show. But I think that came as a result of the whole Closet Gate thing. And I believe that it was a sense where they were bringing Kenya on the show because they wanted to humble NeNe in a sense. And I think that Kenya and Cynthia worked together because they wanted to have NeNe's her ego be balanced by having Kenya on the scene. So I think that's what happened. And then yeah.
Thank you so much for calling in, Jessica. Got me thinking.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye. All right. Yeah. Oh, no. Well, does Cynthia respond now? Does Cynthia respond? And how does she respond? And where does she respond? Where does she respond? Where? Let me look at the. Oh, right. Wait a minute. All right. So many of you are voting in our poll, and I asked you, who is the real Black HBIC of reality TV? So far, with almost 500 votes, you guys, 61% of you are voting NeNe Leakes. But I have to say, 61% of you probably are NeNe Leakes fans that are here. But I do believe that NeNe is very important to the reality TV space. It's interesting. Replay crew, you'll let me know your thoughts. Who is the HBIC of reality TV? Who is? Just asking. All right. Let me just say thank you. We did have another super chat, and I would appreciate the super chats, guys. Thank you so much. Keisha, thank you for the super chat. Keisha says, Andy and Bravo want ratings and to sell advertising dollars. They are not that mad. Prom. I thought the same thing. I was like, are they mad enough because of what she accused them of? I think maybe once mediation is over, allegedly, that's when we could possibly see NeNe. Maybe in part 2. There will be a part 2, August 1st, on Carlos King's podcast. And shout out to Carlos. Carlos, we are citing you in our description. So go watch that. Go drop those elephants and crowns in his comment section. It says Kempire sent me. Okay? So it's all, look, it's all, I was about to say all love. Y'all know I don't say love to just any old body. It's all love to our audience. Thank you, Keisha, for the super chat. I do agree with you guys in regards to how Carlos handled this interview. He really did allowed a space for NeNe to tell her story. But I also think he understands when you have two alphas like that, NeNe's the biggest alpha. So I felt like he pulled back. All right. So yeah. Anyways, congratulations on the interview. Congratulations to all of you for being here. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you for all the likes. Be sure to like the video on your way out if you haven't already. We appreciate you being a part of your first or maybe your 10th Kempire Town Hall where you share your thoughts. So replay crew, comment section, be professional with your thoughts. It's still a town hall in the comment section. But you have free reign to write a whole paragraph. Okay. All right. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. We appreciate them. And thank you to all of you for being here. Have a great evening, a great night, or a great morning. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse.